Here with us now is Ophir Falk, a senior advisor to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, joining us from Jerusalem. Good morning from New York, Ophir.
Good morning here. Thank you for having me.
Of course, a pleasure to have you. What's your reaction to the news of no deal? Even though that wasn't much of a surprise, I think everybody was cautiously optimistic, but Vance says it was the best and final offer that Iran declined. Your reaction?
Right, absolutely. So there's no real surprise about that because Iran always lies. And this is not the end of the war, it's a turning point. Our objective in the Operation Rising Lion was to remove the existential threat posed by the Ayatollah regime. And by doing that, there were three goals. One, to degrade their nuclear capabilities. Two, to take out or to degrade their ballistic missile capability. And three, was to create the conditions for the Iranian people to grasp their freedom in their own hands. Now, we did a lot in all three of these things. One, we took out a lot of their additional nuclear bomb scientists. We took out thousands of ballistic missiles, hundreds of launches. We took out their leadership, their genocidal leadership, their first tier, their second tier. Now they have and now they're negotiating with the D-League of Iran. At the end of the day, the Iranian people need to do the right thing.
You know, I've been talking to a few friends from Iran. I've been lucky to talk to them. And at this point, they say they don't trust Israel, the U.S., or their current regime. They don't know what's going on. So let's go back to Israel, where Prime Minister Netanyahu has continued Israeli strikes in Lebanon. We know that has been a very fragile point of the ceasefire. President Trump has requested Netanyahu to cut back. How might this conflict between your nation and Hezbollah have affected this weekend's talks, if at all?
Well, there is no ceasefire against Hezbollah, nor were we requested to have a ceasefire against Hezbollah. As the president and the vice president said, there is no ceasefire with that genocidal terrorist organization, Hezbollah. If there's one lesson we've learned from the October 7th atrocities where Hamas killed over 1,000 innocent people, is that Israel cannot allow a genocidal regime or organization anywhere near our border, not in the south with Gaza and Hezbollah and Hamas, and not in the north with Hezbollah and in Lebanon. And we're implementing that lesson right now as we speak. On the bright side, we're starting negotiations with the Lebanese government that reached out to us after Hezbollah has been degraded. They've reached out to negotiate a peace deal. In that peace deal, we have two main objectives. One is to dismantle Hezbollah. That's a mutual goal, mutual interest for Lebanon and for Israel. And two is to forge a real peace, real peace between Lebanon and Israel. Is that possible? I sure hope so.
Yeah, the world is watching. The world hopes so. The Prime Minister put out a statement this morning saying, quote, "We continue to fight Hezbollah and are determined to restore security to northern residents." What does he define as security? And is there a time frame for how long this could take, Ophir?
Well, security is when we don't have genocidal terrorist organizations near our border that are shooting, launching cluster bombs at our city centers, that are attacking our civilians, and hiding behind Lebanese civilians. That's the big difference between us and them. We hit terrorists. We precisely target terrorists. We took out 180 of them on last Wednesday. We've taken out over 1,400 Hezbollah terrorists since February. And we're going to continue to degrade them until they drop to their knees. And the Lebanese government also wants to degrade Hezbollah. That was the deal in November 24. We had a ceasefire deal in November 24, whereby the Lebanese government was supposed to dismantle Hezbollah and demilitarize southern Lebanon. That did not happen. Why? Either it was a lack of will or a lack of capability, but it didn't happen, and it's happening now. We're doing that. The IDF is doing that.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.